So when I was growing up in Federal Way, Washington, I had three pretty ambitious dreams for my life. I wanted to go to a top university, I wanted to see the world, and I wanted proof that my life mattered. It was kind of hard for me to get those things, because this is where I started. I was a super geeky, awkward kid, always overweight. My family didn't have financial resources. So for me, getting those things that I wanted took a lot of effort. It took always proving that I was better than someone else. I had to test higher than every other kid in my district to get into classes in elementary school. I had to beat out all the kids in my high school for a scholarship to go to University of Washington. But when I was there, something really amazing happened to me. Halfway through my sophomore year, I was one of 20 kids selected from the entire country for a fellowship from the US Department of State. And overnight, I went from being this funky, overweight loser living in the dorms to having a fabulous apartment in Fremont, losing 40 pounds, getting a whole new wardrobe, and starting to travel the world. It was a life-changing moment for me. Suddenly, I had proof that someone out there thought that I was worthy of having this really cool thing. I got to be a member of Team America. Once I joined the Foreign Service, I had influence over US government policy. I was managing millions of dollars in resources, and people wanted to talk to me. Everywhere I went, I could be certain that I was going to get an audience, because no one was going to turn down a representative of the US government, right? And I did really well in this job. I got a lot of awards. I got everything that I wanted, or everything that I thought I wanted. I had my graduate degree from Georgetown. I had seen over 21 countries. And I had proof that someone out there in the world thought that I was important. But during my last overseas tour in Kabul, Afghanistan, I started to realize that that wasn't enough. I couldn't quite figure out what was missing, actually. I just knew that everything that I thought I believed in started to break down. My boss didn't like my work. I didn't get the validation from that group that I thought I wanted, and yet I still kind of believed somewhere deep down that I had something to offer. I had to, right? Otherwise, what was I going to do? So I came back to Seattle. And I thought that when I showed up here with my fancy degree and all of my experience and all this cool stuff that I'd done, that people would like me, right? They would help me prove that my existence was valid. What happened was I fell flat on my face. I couldn't find a job. When I did get work, I kind of sucked at it, and I didn't understand what was going on. I started to blame Seattle. I thought, this place is my planet Krypton. These people don't get it. They're so provincial. They don't understand where I've been and who I am and what I've done. But all that attitude did was make me really, really miserable. And even after being here for a year, I still had PTSD. I still couldn't find work, and I still felt like a nobody. But then I had this insight, and it still gives me so much joy to share this with anyone who will listen, and I'm glad it's all of you. I realized that I didn't want to have to be the best at anything in order to be valid. In fact, I didn't want to be the best at all. It's not fun to sit on top of a pyramid looking down at your accomplishments and thinking about all the things that you've overcome in life. I wanted to be part of a community. In fact, the very community that made me decide to make Seattle my home in the first place. A community where there are no rules or performance standards. Because in order to innovate and create, you have to be willing to suck. You have to be willing to go without proof for a very long time. And that's when I understood that Seattle wasn't my planet Krypton. The whole time, I was carrying that kryptonite around inside of me. You see, by giving other people the right to decide whether I had superpowers, I also gave them the right to take that away. And now that I understand that what makes me powerful isn't what anybody thinks, I have the freedom to suck at whatever I want. That's what I gained when I lost my superpowers. Thank you so much.